You like that movie?
A few weeks ago, I found myself watching Total Drama Island, a show that is known for its censorship. There are certain words and scenes that were in the original version in Canada, but were cut in the United States because it was seen as too risque.
Wait a sec. So, Harold saw your boobies?
Can we see?
Heck no!
Originally, I was going to do a video specifically on Total Drama Island, and this scene in particular. I was under the impression that it aired uncensored in Canada, but I eventually found out that it was always blurred, that the version on YouTube that is uncensored was made by an individual and not someone affiliated with a show or TV network. Though there are people who claim that it aired like this originally.
You think I'd actually show that dweeb my boobs on purpose?
Regardless, I did not want to abandon this topic of censorship. It's a very interesting subject, and I want to look more into it, to see which other cartoons were censored, how they were censored, and why they were censored. I mean, heck, there are shows airing today that are still censored for various reasons, whether it be due to violence, sexuality, drinking, foul language, or magic.
Witchcraft.
Before we talk about which cartoons are censored, I want to talk about the different entities that are behind these changes. First off, TV executives. It should be no surprise that the people who run the channels get to have a say in the matter. Next, advertisers. If the folks who financially support you don't like what you're showing, they might pull their support and take their business elsewhere. This gives advertisers a lot of power with what is shown on TV, and hell, what's even shown on YouTube. And finally, governments. Whether it's the FCC here in America or the Russian government, there are bureaucratic organizations that try and filter what is shown on television. A recent example comes from China and how the Christopher Robin movie is banned there. Why? Because the president of China is upset that people keep comparing him to Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. Dude, here's some advice. If you're trying to prevent people from calling you Pooh Bear, then don't care about it. Don't bring it up. But since you have made it a deal, people across the world are just going to call you President Pooh Bear from now on.
Silly old bear.
Alright, so I already mentioned Total Drama Island, so let's start with that. The show itself was a cartoon version of Survivor, but with teenagers. So lots of kissing, lots of fart jokes, and lots of sexual innuendos.
Hey, check it out! I got wood!
In order to keep a child-friendly rating in the US, Cartoon Network scaled back on the dialogue and language. Some of the more common edits include replacing the words suck, crap, stupid, and freaking. But my personal favorite is how they changed the word testicle to beef meatball.
All right, meatballs! Bring it on!
Well, technically, you're right, Owen, but these are kind of special.
It's beef meatballs bourguignon.
The reactions of the characters don't carry the same weight with this censor. I mean, beef meatballs, who cares? But testicles? Yeah, that would be my reaction too.
But these are kind of special.
It's beef testicle bourguignon.
16 is another Canadian cartoon that got the same treatment as Total Drama Island here in the US. But there's one major difference. While Total Drama had parts of the show censored, 16 had entire episodes that were censored. I'm talking about full-on bans. According to the source, about 25 of the episodes weren't shown here in the US. The main reasons for said bans have to do with the mature topics from the episodes, and sexual themes and jokes.
I don't think Caitlin's crying.
One of the more interesting bans, though, is an episode called Role Reversal. This episode was banned because it featured a character who was gay. Kind of a shame, because it was a very good episode.
Well, there must have been one guy, somewhere, some guy, any guy.
Nick, if you're trying to find out if I'm gay, it's okay to just ask.
What? No, it's not like I was...
Yes, I'm into girls, and I'm really flattered. But I already have a date for the dance tonight.
Oh. Okay.
Are we all right? Still friends?
Yeah. She's just too darn cool.
Speaking of another Canadian cartoon, we got My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. The show had some of its dialogue changed. Words like loser and egghead were left out of the Canadian version, but were in the American. Also, the word cider was changed to apple juice, and the foam on the cider was removed. I guess they thought it was too close to alcohol. But the censor that stands out the most is with a character named Derpy. She was a fan favorite that was typically seen in the background of episodes, but she finally got a speaking role in season 2. Obviously, the fans were super happy, but after receiving some complaints and how the character is offensive, the show removed her name, changed the voice, and fixed her derpy eyes.
I just don't know what went wrong. I just don't know what went wrong.
Here's the thing though, later on in the show, they brought the character back. She even had an episode about her with her goofy voice and derpy eyes. It's very possible that the complaints freaked out Hasbro and they had a knee-jerk reaction, but now they're more relaxed and cool with it.
Muffin?
One thing that surprised me during my research is how much censoring goes on in Europe, and especially the UK. One popular example of this is with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or as they are called in the UK, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. I mean, they even changed the intro song to reflect this.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
The main reason why they went with this change is because they believe the word ninja is too violent. They even removed weapons from the show and replaced them with other stuff.
Heroes in a half shell, yeah.
Both Adventure Time and regular show are also censored a lot in the UK.
You vampire hugger!
Wait, what?
Look 'em yonder!
What the blood?
Look 'em yonder!
What the bloob?
I mean, heaven forbid that the word Uranus appears in a kid's show.
That's only because you chose Uranus.
It was the only one that fit!
Because you chose a dwarf star.
While Adventure Time and regular show are censored for their dialogue and quote-unquote violence, Steven Universe finds itself with a different challenge. Gay representation. I mean, we are talking about a show that has 2 female characters kissing on screen. And let me tell you, there are a few countries that do not want that on their television. Isn't that right, Uncle Putin?
I would like to make this very clear. I am gay, I like long, big cocks. I'm not so gay, I like long, big cocks.
Something I adore though, and a spoiler warning for those who haven't gotten very far in the show, but the staff for Steven Universe gave the censors a big fuck you. You see those 2 characters? Well, they're a couple, but sometimes the censors in other countries try to downplay this by presenting Ruby as a guy. Well, guess what? In this episode, the 2 get married, and guess who's wearing the dress? Yeah, good luck spinning that one off, though they'll just most likely not show the episode. Speaking of gay, we gotta talk about Sailor Moon. In the Japanese version of the show, the character is Uranus.
That's only because you chose Uranus.
It was the only one that fit!
The characters of Uranus and Neptune are a couple. They love each other and they absolutely show it with their interactions.
はるかはモテる男が嫌いなのよ。はい。はい。じゃあね。あ、出た。痛いよ、みちる。もっと優しくしてもらいたいな。よくてよ。後で二人っきりになったらね。
大人のムードっちゅうやつです。
Well, this wasn't going to fly here in the US. So what did they do? They made them cousins, which doesn't make any sense. If anything, it makes things weirder.
So, what's up?
Amara.
Huh?
Don't worry. Your hands still look clean to me.
What cousins would act this way? Okay, well...
But the look in my cousin's eyes was so intense, so full of knowledge greater than I could imagine.
Seriously though, this was a dumb censor, and ultimately only made things worse. But when it comes to the king of dumb censorship, nobody comes close to 4Kids Entertainment. This company was responsible for dubbing Japanese anime into English. This included Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, and many others. And this is something I got to see for myself as an actual kid. Like, I grew up with the 4Kids version of Pokemon, and I honestly thought that this was a jelly donut. I mean, they said it was, so I kind of took it at face value. So as an adult, when I got the chance to eat an actual rice ball, it dawned on me. This version of Pokemon lied to me.
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
They censored cigarettes. They censored booze. They censored skin color. They censored cleavage. They censored everything. But the best, and I mean the best thing they ever censored were the guns in Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead of the guards running in with weapons drawn, they just had their fingers pointing out. Like, ooh, you got me. It's so intimidating. I give up.
Mr. Pegasus would like to have a few words with you.
And finally, we have South Park and the Muhammad problem. To be honest, this story could be a video of its own, which I might do in the future. Alright, so a few years back, South Park ran into some trouble with a few of its episodes. South Park wanted to show an image of Muhammad, but Comedy Central wouldn't let them. Of course, there's some irony to this, considering that they already have Muhammad in the show back in July of 2001, though that now has been censored. The creators of South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, have a philosophy that everything can be made fun of or nothing can. But Comedy Central remained adamant in their censoring of Muhammad. They believed that if they angered the wrong people, that they might get a bomb threat or be attacked. There were even some Muslim organizations that prayed for death and hell for the people behind South Park. These people also warned that the same thing that happened to Theo Van Gogh, a guy who was killed by Muslim extremists, would happen to Matt and Trey too. So Comedy Central stood their ground and Trey and Matt just went with it. Are they happy about that? No. But this was a very real safety problem, and they took the path of least resistance. Again, there's a lot more to this, and I hope to address it in a future video.
Gotta stop that oversized Abraham Lincoln. Muhammad.
Overall, these are just a few examples of anime and cartoons that were censored for various reasons. Personally, I'm not one for censorship. It typically takes the form of suppression and prevents people from saying what they want to say. Now, that doesn't mean that all censorship is bad. Sometimes something slips through and needs to be changed. For example, there was an episode of Pokemon that triggered epileptic seizures, and that was eventually censored. Ultimately though, it comes from a place of culture. People who don't like what is being said and shown and decide to change it so it better fits their ideals. Things change though, and I hope that with the advent of the internet, people will be more willing to see creations in their original forms, instead of being turned into gay jelly donut cousins from Uranus. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a like, and sub for more future videos. Also, a shout out to all of my supporters on Patreon. If you want to support my content, go hit up the link in the description. Alright, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.